Hello everyone, this is Draginhikari, and I welcome you to Lunar Remastered Silver Star Story. That's right, this is not a Final Fantasy XIV raid night. We're going to try to start the solo streams up again, and my plan for these solo streams is to go back to my roots of simply playing older stuff or remakes of older stuff, and I don't plan to continue any of like the first impression streams or anything I was doing before, because those got very chaotic and difficult to keep track of after a while. But we're here to talk about Lunar tonight. So since we're back to the solo streams, you guys are going to listen to me ramble for a bit. So we're going to start with that here. So let's talk a little bit about Lunar. Lunar as a series is basically an RPG, a JRPG series that takes place on an alternate Earth where the Earth has been decimated by some type of cataclysm. And those that have survived have been taken by the goddess Athena to the moon, which was changed into the world of Lunar, hence its name. The main Lunar series is brought to us primarily by the game studio Game Arts. They've been involved in a number of projects throughout the years, but let's stay focused on Lunar, or this might take a while. The English versions of the game were localized and directed by Working Designs, who took a very indirect approach to translation. They did a lot of pop culture references and other things like that, which made the games have a very unique flavor to them, though would make any modern anime fan kind of freak out over the liberal translation. But Lunar is primarily focused around two games for the most part, though there have been other games in the series. The original two Lunar games, Lunar's The Silver Star and Lunar Eternal Blue, were released on the Sega CD in 1992 and 1994. Taking advantage of the Sega CD's ability to do video at the time, the games became heavily known for their short animated cutscenes, giving it the flavor of a general fantasy anime along other grounds as well. The games were fairly well received, however, due to the middling market for the Sega CD, it was an add-on to the Sega Genesis, which had a middling reception due to the complications involved with linking multiple pieces of hardware together back during the 90s. The versions that people would be more commonly familiar with would come in 1996 and 1998 in the form of Lunar Silver Star Story Complete and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete, that were released both for the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation 1. These aren't direct ports of the original game. These are complete remakes of the original game. A lot of the story elements were actually drastically changed, especially in Silver Star. And even in Eternal Blue, there were a few storyline and character changes that were made for a number of reasons. I haven't actually been able to find official sources on the reasons for all the changes, but thanks to the people over at the Lunar Reddit, I was able to get a few minor details and speculation. A lot of it had to do with the structure of the original game being kind of difficult. The world map was unusually large. They were using random encounters on the Sega CD, but they decided to not do the random encounter thing, so they changed a lot of the maps around. And also they changed some plot points around what they feel didn't work very well. For example, in the first game, one character joined you at the very beginning of the game and would disappear after like the first dungeon. In the remakes, she was basically given several more hours of playtime before she was taken out of the party for good. And similar things of that nature. In addition to that, the two games thanks to the technology boost, got increased capabilities of their animated cutscenes, and there were more of them, and there was more voice acting as well. And both Japanese and English both had a dub that was produced of questionable quality, as you could expect for a dub in the 90s, though it's still somewhat fondly remembered for what it was. There would be a few other Lunar games. There was a couple in between, but there's not a whole lot to say about them. Most of the time, all versions of Lunar have been remakes of usually the first game in one form or another. The last official Lunar game that was released was Lunar's Dragon Song for the Nintendo DS in 2005. It was one of the earliest DS games that came out, and I've never played it myself, but from what little I know about it, it's one of those games that a lot of fans just kind of wish didn't exist at all. It got middling scores and had a number of very weird design issues that kind of reflected the time of an early launch title for the DS, if I'm being perfectly honest. For those who weren't around when the DS first came out or relatively young, the DS had a lot of gimmicky ideas at the beginning, and a lot of developers kind of have that issue with new hardware where they try to do something unique and it kind of doesn't land properly. Well, Lunar Dragon Song was definitely one of those games. In addition, there were 2 attempts to remake the first Lunar game, as I mentioned. In 2002, there was a Game Boy Advance game called Lunar Legend, which altered the gameplay and the game quite a bit. And it had to change the script because the English version, the English script, was still copyrighted by another company, and Games Arts wasn't working with them anymore. That was those people over at Working Designs. And in 2009, there was an attempt to create a more faithful recreation of the first game in Lunar Silver Star Harmony for the PSP. Similar to the problem I mentioned with the Sega CD, because the PSP had kind of a middling reception itself, it also kind of faded into the background, and that's where Lunar kind of sat for pretty much over a decade. From 2010 to 2024, Lunar just didn't exist. And now we come to the present, where Gung Ho Online Entertainment purchased the rights to Lunar from Game Arts and put into production the game we're going to be playing today, which is the Lunar Remastered Collection, which is basically just a remake of the PS1 and Sega Saturn versions of the game, with some very minor graphical updates and things of that nature. The biggest changes in regards to these updates, from my understanding, mostly comes down to scripting and the voice acting. The biggest problem with the original English script for these games was they were very pop culture heavy in terms of things that they referenced. And a lot of those references are so dated to the point where I don't think a modern audience would even know what any of it is. So they've rewrote a lot of dialogue and lines, and also kind of cut out a few things that were just okay 20 years ago, but probably not so much today. There's a couple of lines that would be of questionable statement in today's modern context. And the other thing they did is they've redubbed both games. As I said earlier, the original dubs for the first 2 Lunar games in English weren't the worst at the time. They still held a lot of nostalgia for people, but they were dated in the way that they were done. Very wooden delivery, very questionable. It's kind of like one of those things where it feels like they took everything in like a few takes and didn't bother giving the voice actors an opportunity to actually improve on the lines or whatever, which resulted in some characters sounding great and others sounding very, very strange. But those are the major changes. Most of the graphical updates I think they did with them is mostly just upscaling the pixel art to be better suited for a more widescreen game and all that stuff. But beyond that, that's all I really have to say on that part of it. So we're going to go ahead and start with the first game, Silver Star Story, today. I'm going to just go for a couple of hours like our raid nights here. My plan is to eventually return to doing this once a week and making it like a 2 to 4 hour session whenever I do them. I'll let you guys know, but since we don't have raid, I just thought I'd just take up the 2 raids videos this week since there wouldn't be anything else otherwise. So, I think we're done yapping here, so why don't we go ahead and get started. But before I do, need to turn off the background music I set up for this. Alright, let's hop back over to the play monitor here. Okay, make sure everything's working because I haven't used the capture card setup and all that for quite a while now. And since we're on the Switch 2 now, that was even another aspect of it I wasn't sure about just yet. This is the remastered collection came out for the Switch 1 specifically. I'm hoping there's not going to be any compatibility problems. I kind of checked before stream and I didn't see any reports of any issues with the emulation for that one, but I guess we'll see. If we run into some weird issue, I'll see what I can do to figure out how to get around it. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and hop in and let's get started. I think I've stalled for long enough. That was louder than I expected. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about the volume of everything, so you guys will have to let me know if there's any issues you're seeing. But hopefully not. I may work on this video on Saturday and find everything's messed up, but I'll get there when I get there, I guess. Right, Lunar Remaster mode. Okay, yeah, this is the original intro from the PlayStation version of it. I think they redid the song vocals on it. I think it's still the same song, though, if I remember right. Strangely enough, the first game was the only one that had an intro like this. The second game didn't do the intros at all. And to be honest, I'm much more fond of the second game than I am the first, but we'll cross the bridge on why I feel that way once I've given this one an opportunity again, because it's been a very long time since I played either of the games. Because the remakes were all kind of meh in their own way, and I didn't have a PSP, so I didn't get to play through any of the remakes. I remember playing the Game Boy Advance one, and it was kind of watered down heavily from the originals, so it just felt like a weak port in a lot of ways. Well, no, not even a port, because it had to be a remake, because the whole battle system had to be changed, because Lunar's battle system didn't translate to the Game Boy Advance very well. Lunar just has an interesting history of all this stuff, really. Remastered. Okay, so they probably changed the way all that stuff works. Alright, let's do this.
I don't remember when it started exactly, but the dream of having a fantastic adventure in far-off places grabbed my heart early and has yet to let go. You see, my hero is Dragon Master Dine. Outside my village, there's a monument made in his honor. His adventures were the most fantastic of all, fighting evil, risking death, protecting the goddess Althena. It's all so exciting. One day, I want to have adventures like that. But excitement of that kind is a long way from Berg.
Alex! Oh, Alex! Where are you?
Oh, hey there, Null.
couldn't you hear me? I've been flying around calling your name for the past half hour looking for you. I should have known I'd find you here.
Where else would I be?
In honor of the great Dragon Master, Dyne. I'm aware that Dyne was likely the greatest and most well-known member of the Four Heroes, Alex, but I'm honestly amazed you never get tired of coming to stare at his stone monument. Shoot, I just remembered that we need to meet with Luna to practice singing, and we better hurry because we both know she'll be upset if we're late.
Okay, so this version of Alex's voice acting definitely has a little bit more oomph to his vocals than the original did. The original was very dry and very almost sounded like he was reading the lines, if I remember right. Null too. Null had this kind of like squeaky. If I remember correctly, it was very squeaky and very almost. It sounds like the pitch was turned up on the voice actor by like multiple degrees. Okay, we're off. Whoa. Another earthquake. That's the third one this week. Yeah, I'm not gonna voice all the lines of the game this long, like I do on the 14 side.
Hey, Alex! I figured you'd be here. Now that the weather's gotten warm enough to melt the ice around the Dragon's Cave, there's no time for us to waste getting started on our big adventure. If we hurry, we can sneak in without waking the dragon. And then, if we're fast enough, maybe we could find a giant diamond from its lair with thousands of silver that'll make us filthy rich and more famous than we could ever dream of.
Rams's voice, I don't really remember that well, other than it's just not being very emotive. It kind of like generic fat guy sounding voice, as weird as that sounds. That used to be a common voice type. Yeah. Look, I'm running this as quickly as I can here.
Oh, Alex, I should have known you'd be late again. Let me guess, you were whittling away the morning at Dyne's monument. Or were you planning more silly adventures with Ramus?
Luna's voice acting is also one I don't remember very well. I think it was maybe a little bit deeper, maybe, than this version of it. Hard to remember exactly, but similar to what I mentioned with the other voice actors, there's just a little bit more emotion behind the things that they're saying. Because old voice acting could be very plain because it was oftentimes done by people who don't generally do voice acting. So sometimes it came off pretty wooden or kind of dry, or just like they would have good moments, but then there would be other moments that just kind of fell flat for whatever reason. Of course, from what I understand, this dub isn't perfect either, but we're also talking like a 20-year difference between what is there's a difference between what people expect in voice acting now compared to, 2 or 3 decades ago. Go ahead, open your mouth now. Big sister is pushing her way into the story. Okay, now we can do a little bit of roaming around before we get along here. Because I haven't played this offline at this point. I bought this game back when it came out, and I just really wanted to save it for when I started doing the solo streams again. And here we are, so... Well, thanks. Nope, I don't want your offer. Go away. Oh. I didn't realize the chat box was shoved behind my character. And I'm used to having it the other way around for 14. Forget to move them around. Okay. Sorry about that. Once I start getting used to these solo streams again, this will be a little less stupid on my part. What the heck are you exactly? Chunky pigeon? Heck, are you rude or just really stupid? Leave me alone. Don't recall this game having a lot of stuff like hidden in houses and things like that. But it's been so long. The secret until the festival. The funny thing is I think there's only like 2 points in this game where singing is anything more than la 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 la. When the song sounds kind of lyricless. I wonder why. Gee, you just noticed that? Yeah, like most main characters in a lot of JRPGs, Alex is kind of physical with some special abilities later on. They don't have any money. I'm gonna have to come back later. Yes, ma'am. Healing magic. I'm supposed to turn you a toad, but it doesn't work. You're mad, but I'd rather you turn it all into a cookie. Well, I think you've been hanging around Ramus too much. What, you don't want to be lunch? Fine then. How modest. Ramus's father. Being stubborn. No random treasure for me yet. Healing statue. Weapon shop. Oh, I was like, I wonder what the option menu was. Trying to remember how this menu. It's in this menu. Yeah, that's stuff all for later. Wouldn't mind being Luna's Terry, but I certainly don't want to be Alex's. Alright, Cuddles. Got dagger. Got sling. Flame ring. I'll try. Oh, I was like, I know there's a way to do all this. Okay, equip. Ugh. Maybe I'm too used to games explaining things to me. Dragonfly wing. Herb. Starlight. Angel tear. Watch me fidget with the menu. Yeah, I'll figure out that later. Yeah, the game doesn't really explain much about the menus and stuff, like newer games tend to, so. Oh, right, went the wrong way. That's for later. Yep, there are no random encounters in the map, as I mentioned earlier, so we just head straight for the cave. Yes, Pops knew what the ring was for. Okay, now we can talk about Lunar's battle system here. So, this is what's... Lunar uses basically what's called a position turn-based system. Basically, when it's each player's turn, they can choose a target to attack, and they have a certain amount of movements, being they'll move forward or towards the target. If it exceeds their reach, then they'll basically stop there and you kind of lose your turn there. Spells and other abilities kind of bypass that. But the positioning of the monsters will also do the same thing. They'll move towards you, and either they reach you or they stop when they're out of movement points. You can't really see the movement points in the stats somewhere, but it's not that relevant for the most part. But the positioning is, because some of the spells and abilities have basically centered on a target or around an area or something like that. And certain bosses will have abilities that will hit people based on where they're at. Defense, then you can just kind of move, select where you want the character to go instead of just defending as normal, so that's how that's used. Like, Sword Dance will just immediately rush to other enemy, but not all of them do that, so let's just go ahead and proceed. Luna is basically our healer for right now. Her magic basically heals and does stuff like that, and Ramus just attacks because he's not good for anything else. Okay. I forgot they added the speed boost to the combat, which will make this a lot more steady, I think, because the default speed is a little slow. Luna doesn't have to move to attack, so we can just let them take the brunt of it. The other thing about Ramus, yeah, he doesn't really ever get much stronger. He just kind of, he kind of just gets more HP as all he gets as he levels. Which means, yes, Ramus is just going to keep getting weaker and weaker, and everybody else is just going to keep getting better anyway. God, Herb. Can't go that way right now.
La 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 la.
I think the only plus side he does hit kind of hard earlier on. Not really a lot of point to doing anything other than auto-attacking right now. Alex and Ramus whenever I can.
La 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 la.
Oh, right, that thing can go everywhere. Yeah, okay, this thing might be worth actually using a sword dance on. Oh, I can kill that. You'll see Null flying around. The only thing he really does for the most part is he will occasionally go over and do what he just did and get somebody back up. Doesn't do it all the time, so you can't rely on him to do it regularly. At least I don't remember him doing it regularly. Luna's a little squishy, as you would expect. These things are kind of fast for early on in the game. Ramus just keeps getting more HP. Unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of ways to hit multiple enemies right now, so I kind of gotta just keep attacking. If there's anything I'm forgetting about here. Yeah, I don't think I'll be trying to deal with those, two of those right now. Okay, I knew I was forgetting something. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you fail to run. I didn't want to hit that again. Forgot this game saves the cursor wherever it was last hit. Oh, we must try to loop around in some way. Annoying, but necessary. Yeah, I went completely behind him. Well, that'll make it easier if I need to leave for any reason. Okay, yeah, I think I'm supposed to go south. I don't remember the dungeons of this one very well, so might get a little bit lost as I try to remember. Been a very long time since I played this one. Flies can cross clear almost across the entire area, so that doesn't help. Really only a few enemies worth using magic on in this place, so... About the only things worth using it on.
Who has awakened me from my deep slumber?
Hello, Agent Dragon.
It is rare for humans to venture into my lair, let alone ones as young as you three. I am Quark, head of the Dragon tribe. You have traveled a long and dangerous road to stand here before me, my young adventurers, and thus your mission must be urgent.
About that. Now, Quark's voice in the original was very deep and bellowing, with a kind of a filter behind it to make it sound more gravelly than I think this version is. That's been a criticism I see, that they've removed a lot of echoing that they used to use on some of the voice acting, where they would add like an echo or a filter to it. Some people like that, some people don't. I don't really have an opinion on it one way or the other here. Real brave, Ramus. Why is it that you humans prize those things so much? Don't you know that they're made from my shit? Oh, what's the use? Yeah, apparently in this universe, dragon shit diamonds. That's apparently a thing. Why not? This is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. Okay, time for our first trial. Which Dine was the last one to complete, so that was kind of our goal to begin with. Let's see. Nothing in here. I think those things are more trouble than they're worth. Yep. Three times speed. They're just whipping around all over the place, aren't they? Up. Okay, that's what I need to do. Woohoo, down here. Alright, come on, ugly. Come on, ugly. Okay, now you can dive. Okay, maybe 3 times speed is a bit much. Yeah, I think 2 times speed is probably good enough unless I need to do a ton of grinding or something. At least until later when things aren't quite so hitting the same button. A starlight. Come on. Ah. They hit hard, but not hard enough.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Oh. Can't remember if everything responds. Yeah, it does. Hey, you. This way. Oh. 500 silver. Useful later. Alright. We just need to head back to Cork. All I remember is you searching our backpack for cheese and crackers. Red, blue, and black. As you can see, this game thrusts us into the main destiny very quickly. Oh, we found a random ring now. Well, yeah, you're now your destiny hero. There you go. Purity song learned. I think that removes status effects. I want to say. Cover condition, yep. Once we get back out of this cave, we'll take a short intermission before we continue on for the remaining less hour-ish. Kind of like why I like to do these solo streams in like 4-hour blocks whenever I do them. 2 hours feels a little bit short for these type of things. For the raid nights, it's not that bad, but 2-hour blocks for these feels a little short. We'll see though. You can try, that's about all I can do. One more battle with you guys, I guess. Let's speed this up. Alright, I'm going to take a short intermission here. It'll probably only be about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll continue on. Okay. So I'm going to make it short since I felt a little queasy for a moment is all, so go ahead and introduce you to the goddess. Okay, now that I have some silver. Let's see. You know, after all the recent, more modern games I played where equipment has like 1,000 attributes that I need to keep track of, sure is a lot easier. Classic, just sell the old stuff, keep the new stuff. Can't do much today, so okay, back to the house. Girls are supposed to prevent boys from having fun, is just their nature. I think it'll be out long in the dark, Mother. note. Yeah, sure scared. Ah! Every time I see Brass move like that involves a chowder bell ringing. Well, that blew up in our face. You'd think the single path out of town would be a little bit easier to navigate than being some fog-ridden forest. No, he doesn't made her mad. More silver. What? She can't be convinced. Strange visions are never a good sign in a game like this. I mean, there's only a few places in this entire village. Was she motherly type? Probably should pick up a few things. Cures paralysis. Those, a couple of those, maybe one of those. That should be enough to get me started. I already got them all equipped with new weapons and gear, so we can go ahead and move along. Magical songs. Well, I'm sure this isn't foreshadowing at all. All right. On the plus side, in this game, status effects don't linger, so it's only battle stuff that we have to worry about. So those enemy roars. Oh, I get it now. The remastered version just basically allows you to pull the items out of your bag without... Because in the original, your inventory was basically character specific, but in this one they just made it a standard item pool. Oh, I'm getting this tar beat down to me in here.
La 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 la
down some more enemies while I'm moving along the way here. An antidote. I need to be willing to spend a few more magic points at this stage.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Okay, this may be the time to start making the formation a little bit more useful. Mostly just to keep Luna as far in the corner as I can, and letting the other two kind of sit up front. Not exactly anything mind-blowing or anything, but... it might keep them from immediately running to Luna. He's trying to.
La 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 la.
So much poison. Hypnotize. Or rebel.
La 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 la.
Oh, it's sleep. That might help a little bit. Let's see. Well, the garbage can lives slightly better than the wrists, I guess, so we'll go with that. Okay. One herb to replace the other I just used. A lot of boxes.
La 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 la.
Ignore the one that's sleeping for now, and yep.
La 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 la.
I think I need to go back that direction. Oh, I guess I do. This is kind of a maze of random treasure chests and kind of annoying enemies.
La 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 la.
Some kind of locked chest. Couldn't remember if there was something like that in this game or not. Oh well, I'll find it later. I'm too young and promising to die. You can technically refuse and try to take them out yourself, but it's never-ending loop. You kill them, and there's just a bunch more, so it's just better to accept help right away. You can see he's level 99. Not only that, he could attack multiple times in a row.
Aren't you a hapless bunch? You're lucky that I happened to come along when I did. Didn't you know that these woods were ridiculously dangerous for ordinary travelers? Are you lost? We're on a field trip. What? An adventure, you say?
Yeah, I remember his original voice actor was more Scottish, if I remember right. It was a little gruffer sounding, if I remember right. Though, based on something you find out about him later, this voice, I think, actually makes more sense for him, but we'll get there when we get there. Okay. Now that that's over with, we can move along. Alright. Bring it. I'm healed and ready to destroy you now.
La 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 la.
And I'm not surrounding for hit points.
La 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 la.
Okay, let's get out of here. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember if there was any reason to go north. I don't think there's anything hidden on the world map in this game, if I remember correctly. Needs more fish, apparently. Yes, you don't need to ramble any further on that. Deal with Mel soon enough. Yeah, the Beastman race is just kind of a separate race. It's more opposite of humans, and unlike a lot of bestial races in other games, they're kind of general in regards to their traits. I didn't do anything. Somebody has issues with their live, apparently. Well, I'm calling for you now. Not you. O-R-is-O-S-E-I-O-E-I-A. Actually doesn't have his dentures in. Like, I just read that for no good reason, didn't I? Okay. Take thermal updraft. Now we have to go. And I'll just like be compared to a cat. Kind of a thing with him throughout the entire game, if I remember right. Fair, in this game, he doesn't know what he is till like later on anyway. Water won't get you. You're still not escaping her wrath. Let's see. Yeah, I have some decent money for that. Okay, neither of them can equip that. I don't think there's any real benefit to having him take it right now. Kinky yet comfy. Oh dear lord. Forgot how innuendo heavy this game is. Let's focus on the armor. I think that's it for right now, so we're good. A ship that goes out right now, but it's not sailing. Guess I should make a charmless, brainless bride. Yeah, laying out a little thick guard there, Luna. I mean, I guess for reference sake, I probably should just go along with it. Sure. We'll go with that. For a good singer. Yeah, that would be this case. It's almost like he's on Twitter. Was that too easy of a joke to make? I don't know. It's locked. Stay out of here if I were you. Never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Plus the beer is watered down. Star Wars references. We're already in those up. Sorry, can't help you with that guy. I don't even go to bars. You're not gonna. I can tell you how to run one. Gambler took a sea chart. The gambler and the Did I not do something? Okay, yeah, I had to talk to that guy again, probably. Okay. Let's check. We'll find the swindler here. Yeah, he was cheating. Alright. So now we gotta go chase out this sea chart by talking to some old woman in the woods, which is never a good sign of anything. Let's see. I don't remember how long it takes to get through this part, but we'll just go ahead and do it. I can save anywhere in this game, so it doesn't matter. Take a nap. Keeps them out of my hair, if nothing else. It is a little MP heavy, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, if these weren't obvious enough traps, I guess. Most of them don't take much damage, fortunately, so... Looks like I learned something, but I clicked too fast. Cascade Song, Fortified Friend. No, mine increases defense. Giant wasps. That never results in problems.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Yeah, it's not just not a trap.
La 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 la.
Alright, Alex starts attacking twice now.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Ugh. What the heck beating down on me here?
La 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 la.
Makes him a little bit more effective when taking out large groups now, if nothing else.
La 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 la.
Explosive staff. I believe that's his AoE circle damage move. If I remember right. but they're spaced too far apart to make any use of it right now, so... Let's Tranquility Song. Inner heal up a bit. Okay, that's her AoE heal.
La 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 la.
There isn't too much to say about this particular dungeon, so we're just gonna try to blow through it here real quick. Then we'll probably start wrapping up for the night. Oh, that's already been opened. Okay, I just kind of went in a circle. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up here for tonight. I think this is a good stopping point. We will be back tomorrow for part 2 of this. And that's all I have to say for now. Once again, there's no Final Fantasy XIV raids, so we'll just continue this where we left off. Anyway, thank you for joining me as always, and we'll see you next time. Hello everyone, this is Draginhikari. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe to be notified of future videos. If you have any suggestions on what you would like to see from me, feel free to comment below. Also check out the links in the description of the video to find me on various other platforms. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you next time.